Hey Gearheads, and welcome to Garage Talk. I'm Corey.
I'm Holly.
Way back there is Tucker.
Yep, that's me.
Took him a while to even hear me back there. And we are in the very large, family-friendly, 3-row new introduction to the Toyota lineup in the Toyota Grand Highlander. We are in the limited trim that is a hybrid and all-wheel drive. The spec, I think, is going to be the most popular. And in this video, we will tell you how this vehicle fits our family of 3. Stay tuned. All right, Holly, I've got a little bit of deja vu with this vehicle because just a few weeks ago, we were in the Lexus version of this in the new Lexus TX. Basically the same vehicle with a different interior, different exterior, same powertrain, but we'll stick to our normal formula. Start outside, work our way inside, then talk about driving impressions. What are your thoughts on the look of this 2024 Toyota Grand Highlander Limited all-wheel drive?
Well, she's a big one.
But she fits in her garage.
She does fit in our garage, which I was pretty surprised about.
On my side of the garage, which also has our extra fridge in it. So
Yeah. So, I mean, that's good.
yeah.
It's a little boxy of a design. Not too many curves. And
Nope. I think
are there any interesting colors?
This color is a cream color. It is not white. It's an off-white.
Sure.
I'd say this is perhaps the most interesting
I'd say it's
of colors. And Tucker, you say it's gray?
It's gray.
Yeah, okay. But no, not like some of the last vehicles that we've been in. This more your standard non-offensive color palette, because I really do
Very
believe
safe.
this vehicle is very safe, but it is also going to sell so well within the lineup. I think this has the potential of being one of their best sellers within the next year.
And when you design safe, you appeal to a wider audience.
Yep. So, very boxy outside. I've got to go ahead and ask you, how do you think it compares in design to the TX, the Lexus version of it?
That one was very boxy too. I think I like the TX.
Really? I do remember you said the front end of it looked unfinished, mostly because it was all a body painted front grille, where this actually gets like a proper looking grille.
I do like this one better from the front.
Yeah.
I do like the front of this one better. But if you're asking overall curb appeal to the style, I think just a little bit I like the Lexus.
Okay.
TX.
Moving to the inside, familiar to both regular Highlander owners, to Toyota owners in general, and to us coming out of that TX. There are very similar touch points in here, but different design. What are your thoughts on the interior design of this one?
My favorite part of the interior design are these accent pieces. It's not real wood, but I guess it's made to look like wood. I wish it was real wood, but I know this is a little different car, but I do like that design. And then I like this little cubby right here in front of you. Yes,
with a USB-C port right up here.
Yeah, I love that. And I think on long road trips, it would be a great place for
snacks.
I was thinking charging your cell phone or something like that.
Yeah, these accents, I think, were what was missing from the Lexus. We talked about how that was the least Lexus feeling Lexus that we'd been in.
Meaning that the style didn't feel as luxury as we felt like it could. Yeah. This does bring a luxury element to it.
Yeah. So that's nice. I mentioned USB-C ports. There are 3 right here in front of me, 2 in the back row, and then 2 way back there with Tucker in the 3rd row. So we've got 7 USB-C ports throughout. Definitely can charge your devices on long road trips in this. We'll get more to how long those road trips can be momentarily, but any other thoughts on interior design, amenities?
Well, there is a lot of space in here.
Goodness gracious.
to a lot of storage space. This is huge, but it also has like a little shelf thing. This has some carpet in the handles, so
it doesn't rattle.
It doesn't rattle if you have something in there. I like that.
And they are very large. I'm surprised at how much room is in the door handle pulls over here.
Yeah, and you have several compartments here in the middle as well.
So the TX had those removable cup holders. This has got fixed in place with just kind of more dedicated storage space. Which do you prefer better?
This.
Yeah.
This better, yeah.
We do have a Qi wireless charger up here and just kind of hard plastic, scratchy sounding. It's not going to be great to put something hard up here. But then I've got like this massive hidden hole over here.
Oh, there's not one over here.
So definitely have hidden hole over here. Lots of open storage. And then you've already talked about how massive this is for closed storage. Fairly decently sized damped glove box down here. We've got storage in the doors.
Yeah, big storage here in the doors as well.
Sunglass holder up here. If we're talking storage. We don't have the sunroof in ours, so we've got plenty of headroom up here.
Yeah.
But yeah, pretty good.
Pretty good. Back in the back in the third row. I don't know about the second row. I didn't look very closely, but back in the third row, there are a couple of cup holders back there too. Did you already mention that?
No, I haven't. I was actually going to work back there.
Yeah, so, and even a little cubby, so I like that.
So in the second row, we do have the captain's chairs in this model. You can get a bench seat, but it comes with a removable, go ahead and show you, center console with a couple cup holders and some like tablet slots down the side with some rubber grippers so you can put tablets in there. Same is true in the third row. Those cup holders and cubbies on the sides that Holly referred to also have tablet slots that you can put tablets. And the handholds to kind of pull yourself out of the third row also have USB-C ports in them. So you can definitely charge your devices all the way around. And while we're talking about third row space, Tucker's already back there. I will go ahead and say I recorded the child seat installation back when he was still installed here in the second row, but he sweet talked me into riding into that third. Let's see what it's like for all three rows when you put a child seat here in the Grand Highlander. Starting our car seat installation journey is actually going to be back here in the third row of the Grand Highlander. This is a 3-person third row as opposed to the 2-person that we experienced in the more luxurious Lexus TX. But as you can see, very upright seating position right now. I'm going to recline that back a little bit. You can get a decent amount of recline back here. I actually get kind of comfortable. The third seat belt actually secures up here in the ceiling. But yeah, I'm quite comfortable back here. And go ahead and pull this seat back and kind of into place here. Where somebody would ride, I am completely comfortable. And I've got amenities like cup holders, tablet holders, USB-C power, big window, and an air vent back here. All good things back here in the back of the Grand Highlander. But now let's see what it's like putting Tucker's child safety seat back here. I will note there are only lower latch points on the passenger side here for installing a child safety seat, though we do have top tethers all the way across. And with that, you would need to use a seatbelt method for either of these two seats. I think this is just a little too narrow to actually get 3 child seats back here in the third row. So it really is more or less a 2-person or 2-car seat rear seat. But we'll go ahead and get Tucker's rear-facing car seat. I'm only going to put it in front-facing, actually, because we already know from the Lexus TX that there's a lot of negotiating between these 3 rows, but you can get a rear-facing one back here. Not quite sure why you would put a rear-facing all the way back here unless it was an absolute necessity, but it can be done with plenty of room. If you don't trust me on that, go watch our TX video. This is his Graco Extend-A-Fit car seat, and you can already see getting it back here is a little tricky, but it can be done. Come around back into the back. Plenty of room in here. I like our model has all weather floor mats. That is a nice touch. But let's go ahead and feed that top tether through. Come on, go through. The problem with these fold down rear headrests in the third row means there isn't a lot of room underneath them to feed that top tether through. And you really don't want to feed the top tether over top of them. That's just more potential for something to go wrong. The slot openings for the lower latches are so much better than what we saw in the TX. Even though the TX had them in both locations back here, it was definitely not an ideal situation. But here we can tighten it down, snug it down pretty good. And now let's go around to the back to check on what that does to storage space, having the seat reclined just a little bit here in the third row of the Grand Highlander. Looking at the cargo hold of the Grand Highlander, you can see it is a very boxy shape. A whole lot more room back in the back of this crossover versus the truck-based Sequoia. So really, if you have a big family, don't even look at the Sequoia, get the Grand Highlander. But you can see we've got the seat reclined just a little bit to match the pitch of the car seat here. This is what it would look like with the seat upright. Don't know who would actually ride with it right there, but that changes the amount of space back here just a little bit. It is a really short reach to get to the top tether, and you can tighten that down nicely. You can see this is a hard, firm seating material, so you're not actually going to be crushing or ruining the seating material at all. I said earlier we had top tethers all the way across. Looks like there is no top tether here on the driver's side, so that was a misspeak earlier. My apologies for that. But overall, a pretty good cargo situation here, even with all three rows up. Looking underneath the floor here, you can see we get our retractable cargo shade. We get the jack for fixing a flat. And then you can pull all of this out. The spare tire is actually not exposed to the elements. It is actually buried under all of this plastic. It is definitely more than a one-handed job, which is all I've got right here. I've seen it done before. It is capable to be done, but you're gonna have to get all your luggage out to get that spare tire. We do have some additional power back here with a household style plug. Our JBL sound system is back here as well, but that is really all that there is to the cargo compartment back here. I will go ahead and show you, I'm 5'10". This is how wide the hatch opens. It opens very nicely. You can see our 1963 dual door garage opening. It fits in there and it opens. It's no big problem, but it is a little bit of a snug fit in there. The buttons are right above my head, and you can close it that way, or you can do the kick to open feature. If you've got the key on your pocket, Toyota actually puts that right there to let you know, hey, that's exactly where you need a kick. So, show you right here. Go ahead and give it a kick. You got to get in there deep enough, but yeah, opens it right up, and you can actually close the tailgate from that as well, so you don't actually have to reach up to the top to hit that button. Now let's put Tucker's child seat in that second row of seats, both rear and forward facing. Moving to the second row, a big complaint I have of these second row seats is they're child seat friendly. So if you have a child seat in place here, you're not going to be able to do this to get back into the back seat. You're only going to be able to scoot it up all the way, and then you've got a narrow pass through to get to the back right there. And the latch to scoot it is there on the side. But because we have the bench seats, we do get a removable center console with a couple cup holders in here. So you could pass through the center here if that was a problem for you, if you've got a couple car seats in and you've got no other way to get back to the back. Gonna go ahead and lift up the headrest right here and bring in Tucker's child safety seat. We'll go ahead and turn it around to its rear-facing format. This is the same car seat we used when he was rearward facing, but you can see where the seat is right now. I'm gonna need a little bit more room. This is a power-operated passenger seat, so we will scoot it forward until we get that seat right in place right there. And then we can come around and see just how much room that leaves me in the front seat here with a rear-facing car seat as far back as you can in the second row. At 5'10", yeah, plenty of room, very comfortable up here. I've got my tray up here that I can reach easily, USB-C power. I've got everything I need at my fingertips. No complaints from the front seat. Okay, so good space up front. This is probably the best 3-row family vehicle from Toyota outside the Sienna minivan. We really like Sienna here on the channel, but moving it around, we'll drop the top tether back there, make sure we match the pitch of the car seat with the recline of the back seat here, get that snugged into place. The lower tethers are exposed and are actually kind of easy to get to when you just take a look. Very easy to snug up, get into place here, and yep, that's snug. And because these seats do slide, I can get around here to the top tether on the back and snug this down into place. Unfortunately, I am kind of squishing some of the seat material on the back of the seat itself. Don't know what this is gonna do to the long-term health of the seat, but there you have it. As far as installation goes, much easier third row installation than the Lexus counterpart of this. Very similar installation here in the second row. I give it a solid B+, just because we don't have the child seat friendly seats. I would have to go around this one now or go through the other side, but a very good and easy installation process here, leaving enough room up here in the front. Could even go as far as to say an A- on this one. Speaking of that back seat, massive back seat for a unibody crossover SUV, however you want to classify this. Adults could ride back there very comfortably. It's a 3-person back seat, but I would say 2 people. The TX we had it just said no, 2 people. This one has a third seat belt, though I don't know you would want to do it. Tucker, how you like the ride back there?
Good.
Good? You got big windows to see out of?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know what's above your head that we really like in this vehicle? Air conditioning vents.
Yay!
We have ceiling mounted AC vents
I know.
in the second and third row in this.
And guess what? They're even secret.
Oh yeah, they're secret?
Yeah, they're secret because if you close them up, you can't even see them.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now we're here on the historic brick streets of downtown Tyler, Texas. Tucker, how's your wobbly head?
A little wobbly.
Little wobbly. Holly, how about you?
It's a lot smoother than I was expecting it to be.
But the bump really gave me a wobble.
It really gave you a wobble. Yeah, but this is pretty good. I mean, we've been in some vehicles that really beat you up.
Yeah.
So, especially being a big vehicle, this is mostly smooth.
Mostly smooth. I mean, yes, it is still a big 3-row vehicle. Sits up taller, higher center of gravity, all that fun stuff. But any other thoughts, interior, exterior, before we jump onto driving impressions?
Nope.
Okay. I will.
This is an EV, hybrid.
Yes. So before we get into driving impressions, steering wheel. Thoughts on steering wheel?
I like the steering wheel. It's a little skinny, but it is a nice texture.
Yep. And the buttons are easy to use, not like the TX's touch-sensitive ones.
Yeah. No, these are
Stop it, Lexus. You're
regular buttons. Yeah. You got heated steering wheel, heated seats, ventilated seats.
2-person memory seat.
2-person memory seats.
Full digital gauge cluster.
Nice.
Ripped straight out of the crown we were just in. So very familiar to us. Very large UI, user interface up here in the infotainment. 12.3-inch screen here and there. You already mentioned dual zone climate control up here with a third zone back there for Tucker. Talking about those air vents. We can control it up here. Second row can control it from back here. Fairly comfortable all the way around. But what is it like piloting this big vehicle around?
So it is a big vehicle, and it feels like driving a big vehicle.
Okay. In what ways?
In what way that I know I have a tail end back there.
Okay.
So, you know, sometimes three rows we've gotten in them, and I'm like, oh, this is 3 rows, because it doesn't feel like you're driving a huge car. But this one definitely feels like driving a big vehicle, which I know some people like. It's not necessarily my favorite, but I know that is what some people are looking for. They want a big vehicle. They want it to feel like one. They want it to drive like one.
Yeah.
I would say my least favorite thing, so I'll say that, it puts a little bit more thought process into backing up, parking, like all of that. It's a little bit more of a challenge that I know you would get used to as you practiced and stuff like that. But my least favorite thing about driving this car is, so it has the hybrid.
Yes.
And you know, I like to charge up the battery. I drive efficiently. I get some kind of satisfaction out of adding to that little battery button, which means I coast a lot.
Yeah.
This car does not coast.
Yeah.
In fact, it almost like it almost feels like it's one pedal driving.
It is a very thick
and
regenerative braking.
Very thick, and it drives me up the wall.
Oh,
I do not like it at all.
Okay, well, let's
because
see.
you know the other thing.
Let's turn EV mode off.
No, but if you turn
put it
EV
into normal, and that's just turning EV mode off. EV mode at low speeds, it'll drive around like an EV until the battery's depleted. Now, just in normal mode, it's gonna be your typical hybrid. Tell me if it coasts a little bit better now.
Yeah, it coasts better now.
Yeah. So we were in eco. That is like the most energy saving.
But why does it do that? Why doesn't it coast in EV mode? That doesn't make sense.
It's the regenerative braking, trying to put battery.
But here's the issue with that doesn't make sense to me is on our street, you know how you can pretty much coast from when you turn on our street to our house almost. But no, not this. In fact, I could only coast for a little bit, and then I had to punch the gas again. So how is that EV more efficient? I'm having to use more gas.
It's one of those situations where you, as the driver, had to
understand.
know the right mode and how to. But yes,
That doesn't make sense to me.
good to know that putting it in normal kind of.
Yeah, that makes it better.
Yeah,
that makes it better. The other thing with the regenerative, like being very aggressive, you know, I get car sick, and so when you're driving and you're all of a sudden like this every time,
it's not the most pleasant experience.
It's not. Well, I guess switching modes, that definitely makes it better, but doesn't make sense to me.
I would agree. Just because, yes, to your point, coasting down our street is impossible. But yeah. How have you felt the engine coming on, going off? Has that been obtrusive?
Sometimes, yeah. I feel like I would notice it more in the summer.
Yeah. Now, this one is basically running the same powertrain as that TX, but also the last 2 Toyota Siennas we drove. Very similar powertrain setup, all-wheel drive. Very similar vehicle to the Sienna, just more modern tech and an SUV versus a van. I've got to go ahead and ask you, I know you really liked the Sienna.
I did.
Sounds like you're still favoring that over this.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Okay. Interesting. Any other thoughts before I pull out the window sticker? We can talk fuel economy and then price.
Yeah, I just have a feeling that I'm going to wish that this car had a head-up display.
Yeah, so that one is an interesting one to me. You have to get the platinum trim for the head-up display. Like, it is not an option. We have the mid-grade limited. Base model is the XLE. This is the limited. You would imagine that it would at least be in an option package, but no, you have to get the platinum trim to get the head-up display in this one, which I feel is not great. Also, weird one on this one. The consumer website does say this should have 360 cameras, but ours does not. It only has a backup camera with parking sensors all the way around. So that's an interesting look. Not quite sure how that's possible, given what the website says, but that is the case here. The name of this paint job is Coastal Cream.
Coastal Cream.
Yeah. The EPA rates it at 36 mpg city, 32 highway, 34 combined. We've put 110 miles on it. Good mixture of all types of driving. We're at 29.9 currently. Again, we've been mostly in eco mode. We are in the hills of East Texas, so that plays into it a little bit, but definitely falling short of what the window sticker says. Would you?
Well, I haven't been able to charge up the battery as much as I would like.
Do you want me to remind you of the price of the TX before asking you what you think the price of this is, or you just want to go for it?
I'm going to go for it.
Okay.
I don't need your guidance. I'm going to say 75.
Way too high.
Way too high? Okay.
That's more than the TX that we had.
Then maybe I take back. I thought this was more than the TX.
Oh, okay. It feels nicer inside, right?
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Then maybe I take back my comment on the head-up display.
Yeah.
Because that's the range I was thinking that it was in. Okay, way too much. So it's got to be like 65.
Still too much.
Really?
Yes.
Is it in the 50s?
Yes.
Ooh, shocked. I'm shocked. See, this is why I should know these things at the beginning. Because it could
59.
affect my
Still too high. Tucker at 59.
52.
A little too low.
55.
54.
Okay, 54.
And some change. As this one sits, again, mid-grade limited. I could very much see us buying this spec. We don't need a big 3-row, but we do have family. We could cart around, stuff like that. I really like it.
You got the ventilated, the heated seats.
I've already recommended it to
The
a couple
hybrid.
friends.
Yeah,
Legitimately
nice.
recommended it to them. I really do foresee this being the best-selling spec and one of the best-selling vehicles in Toyota's lineup. The RAV4 is going to be hard to topple for sales volume, but this is a
This
real,
is a great price.
yeah, real winner for them.
Yeah, I take back my comment on the head-up display. I actually have been giving it, sideways glances and looking my nose down on it, but now I'm
Come around.
I have come around. You've spoke my language. I still like the Sienna better.
Yeah. Well, on that note, if you want to see some more behind-the-scenes stuff, see us load groceries in the back, go find Holly on Facebook and Instagram at Female Consumer. You can find all things GT Garage Talk at GT Garage Talk, Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok, Threads, YouTube at GT Garage Talk, or you can go to gtgaragetalk.com. But as for us, in the big, affordable, 3-row, family-friendly Toyota Grand Highlander Limited Hybrid All-Wheel Drive. Till next time, gearheads. Bye.
I'm going to the grocery store. Son.
Tucker, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready. I'm not ready. Okay, I'm ready.